Hello everyone in CIS-115. This video is to cover the sys.argv material that you need to understand in order to finish the homework for Module 4, and also potentially some questions on the exam about this. So this is the video that is referenced here on the checklist that I said I would do for you folks on Wednesday. So, couple things to understand about the sys.argv. That is a way of getting to things that are passed to a program when it is run from the command prompt. So, what do we mean when we say command prompt? Well, on Windows, and I have a Windows virtual machine running here, VirtualBox. On Windows, you get to the command prompt by typing in CMD. Let's see if Windows catches up with me here. Let's try that again. There we go. It's doing a little bit better. So this is the command prompt. And this used to be all that we had. So you can run things from the command prompt without having to run it from inside of Tani. And so Python is that way if you have it installed on the computer and added to the path. Now, don't think I have Python added to the path on this Windows machine, but we can try to run it and see if it starts. And you see what it says. Python is not recognized. That's because it's not added to the path. The path is a variable that Windows uses to search for where programs are that it can run. So unless I add the folder that has Python in it to my path, I can't run it here. But if we start Tani up, we can get to the system shell from inside Tani. So you see where I am in Tani. Here's Tools, and there's Open System Shell. Now first, let's just create a little program that uses sys.argv. Okay? In order to use sys.argv, you have to import the library sys. Okay? So that's an import, just like we used to do very long time ago in week 1 of our class when we were working with Turtle graphics. We had to import Turtle. Well, I'm importing sys so that I can use the things in the sys library. So once I've imported sys, then I've got access to the things that are part of the sys module. And so if I wanted to see what the things are that are in the command line arguments right now, I could do something like this. Command, I'll create a variable, command line arguments equals sys.argv. Okay? Now, sys.argv returns a Python list. We have a chapter on list. It's not in the next module, it's the module after that. So, but a Python sys is a similar to a matrix, a set, if you are familiar with math. set of items. So let's print that now, that variable that we have, command line args. Okay, so this is our little Python program. I'm going to save it, and I'll save it in my downloads, and I'll just say sys.argv demo.py. Okay, so we know that we can run this from inside Tawny, and let's just go ahead and run it and see what it does. And it's saying ARG. I left the G out. Let's try it again. Okay. Do you see the square brackets? That means that this right here is a list. Now right now this list has one thing in it. And in Python, you know, if we put quotes around something, it is a string. So right now sys.argv has one thing in it, and it is, guess what? What is this? The name of the program. See right up here on the command, on the title bar, it says sys.argv_demo.py. So that is what printed when we ran our program. You can see here I've got Tawny where it's showing me what the contents of the variables are, and you can see that it is a list with that in it. Now that's all that we could do running this from within Tawny, but if we go to Tools and Open System Shell, you see it's showing me the paths now. And where does it say Python is for me? Now it'd be different on your machine, but it's saying Python is installed in C users, pclif, app data, local, programs, Tawny, and then Python. So these are added to our path. So now I can actually run this program, and just so you can see that it's out there in my downloads folder, I'll do a dir, and we name that program sys_argv. You see it right here where I'm highlighting in white? So there it is. I just did a dir command so that I could see what was in this downloads folder. So now let's run it from the command prompt. In order to, you don't have to have Tawny in order to run a Python program. You can just do Python and then type the name of the program out, sys_argv_demo.py. So you see what I have here. I have Python, a space, the name of the program. So let's run it now and see what happens. Okay, here it is when it ran, and there's what it printed out. Okay, now you see if you don't provide it any command line arguments, the first thing is always the name of the program. The first thing in sys.argv's list there is the name of the program. But I could do this. If I wanted to pass a 1 to it there on the command line, you see I put a space and then I typed out 1. Now let's run it again and see what happens. Look, there are 2 things in the list now. The name of the program is still the first thing, always the first thing, and then what I typed after the name of the program is showing up here in the argv list. Okay, now you notice it has quotes around it, so that's a string too. Now let's try this. Okay, I've got sys.argv is the name of the program that I'm running. I've got 1, a space, number 1, and then 2.0. So when I hit enter now, there are going to be a lot of things in sys.argv that gets printed out. Look how many things printed. Sys.argv demo is the name of my program, right? 1 has got quotes around it. The number 1 has quotes around it, and 2.0 has quotes around it. So the point I'm trying to make here is that everything in sys.argv, regardless of whether it's 2 point something or a number with decimals, whether it's an integer like that, whether it's a word like 1, all of this stuff is always a string. So if we wanted to do math like add 1 and 2.0, we would have to convert those, and we could do that. So let's see what they are. This is sys.argv0. This is sys.argv1. This is sys.argv2. This is sys.argv3. Did you notice I started counting at 0? So if I wanted to get to that number 1 right there in my program, I could do it by doing this. That number 1 is 0, 1, 2, so it would be this. That should print out the number 1 when we run our program. But remember, we can't run it from inside Tawny. We have to run it from the command prompt because we can't supply anything to the program when we're in Tawny from the command line. So I saved that program. So you see the 1 that printed here? Okay. If I tried to, so we said this is sys.argv2 right here. So sys.argv3 okay. I can't, we said these things are strings, so Python will probably blow when I try to do this operation, adding these two things together. It'll probably blow and tell me that I can't add two strings together, which actually I can. It just won't give me what you expect. This is a 1 and this is a 2.0. So if we added the number 1 plus 2.0, that should give me 3.0, right? Well, watch what it does when we run it, and you'll see that we're not getting what we expect. What did I get when I ran it? Well, maybe I didn't save this. Okay, now I saved it. Let's try it again. What did I get? I got 12.0. So you could see what it's doing is it's concatenating, it's scotch taping these two strings together. So if I wanted to actually do that math, I would have to convert these things. Convert the first one into an int, and the second one is a float. So I can convert it into a float. And now I'm converting these things. This is being converted into an integer. This is being converted into a float. And so when I save this and run it from the command prompt, remember I've got to run it from the prompt, I should get 3.0 instead of 12. So what did I get? 3.0. So while we did set a variable to these things, you need to understand that we could get to them just like this. Okay. So this is going to return the third command line argument. This is going to return the fourth. remember the very first thing in the command line arguments is always the name of the program. So I'll save this, and you can see that we should still get 3 when we run it. See, I'm getting 3 because it's taking this, converting it into an int. It's taking this, converting it into a float, and then it's adding them. But remember, we're going to get questions on our homework asking us, what are these things that are in sys.argv? And everything that's in sys.argv is always a string. Don't let them trick you. So I'll get out of that VirtualBox virtual Windows machine, and I'm going to go to Blackboard here, and let's see if we can answer a couple homework questions. The list of command line arguments can be accessed using what? What variable? sys.argv, right? We just did that. Consider this command. Python 3, run this program, pass 1, 2, 3, true, and hello. Okay? Is asking us the first string stored in sys.argv is prog.py. Okay? The list of command line arguments contains what? How many things are here? 1, first thing is always the name of the program. 2, 3, 4. 4 things, 4 strings. Remember, everything in sys.argv is always a string. Now, why does it say Python 3 here? Anybody know? Well, in order to understand that, you have to understand what's going on with the textbook. Remember, this stuff came from the textbook. So let's go look at this material in the textbook. Here's the link to our site for the class right here. Okay, let's type in the search here, sys.argv. Hit search. Okay, the first thing that comes up is the link to the chapter in the textbook. Okay, I'm going to scroll down, and right here is where it's talking about the command line arguments. Okay, now you will notice here in this material that what type of system is the textbook author running this on? Linux. You see how he's having to type Python 3? When you're on Windows, you don't have to type Python 3. That's because when you install Python on Windows, you're getting one version of Python, and that's Python 3 if that's what you put on. On Linux, on Unix, and on OS X, those operating systems actually come with Python 2 built in. So if you're on Linux, Unix, or OS X and you type in Python, it's going to start Python 2. If you want Python 3 on those systems, even though Python 2's been discontinued, they're still using it, don't ask me why, if you want to run Python 3, you have to install Python 3, and so that the system can tell the difference as far as which version of Python you want to run, you have to type Python 3 to run that stuff on Linux, Unix, and OS X. So that's a short reason why you'll see Python 3 in the material, but you saw on Windows, we just typed in Python. And remember, because we don't have Python on the path most of the time in Windows, you have to run it through the Tawny shell, the shell in Tawny. Okay, so just to show you on Linux here I just opened a terminal up, and if I type in Python 3, okay, you can see it started Python 3.6.9 on Linux right here. See it? Okay, and so Python 3 does actually work on Linux and Unix and OS X without having to do any kind of system shell or anything like we have to do on Windows. So, and if I had a Python program out here, let's just see. I have a, do I have a Python program? Ken.py is one. Slicing test is one. Let's run the slicing test. Okay, so here I'm at the command prompt on Linux, Python 3, slicing test.py. That's going to run that program. And you can see that we were slicing some things up, slicing some strings up in that program. So that's the way you can run a Python program on OS X, Linux, and Unix. Okay, so let's go back to the homework questions again. So we answered this one. Okay, the list of command line arguments is accessed using sys.argv. We understand now that this, when we run this program like this, the first argument is this, the name of the program. The second one is 123. The third one is true. And the fourth one is hello. And we understand that all this stuff is stored as a string in sys.argv. So that's why the answer is 4 strings. I think I had one more question here, maybe 2. Let's see. Question 15, 14, question 6. Did we answer question 6 yet? Okay, right here. True or false? Consider this command. Python 3, run the program, prog.py, pass it 1, 2, 3, true and hello. It says true or false. There's exactly 1 string stored in sys.argv. That would be false because how many strings are in there? The name of the program is in there, 1, 2, 3 is in there, true, and hello's in there. So there are actually 4 strings in sys.argv. Okay? I had one more here. Maybe not. Let's see. Question 6. Some scanner questions. Scanner questions are covered in your video. That's it for me. That's all the questions that it gave me on sys.argv. So, good luck with the command line arguments. And I'll see if I can post another video that's talking about these questions right here. Like suppose module a.py has function def x fx in it. We'll do another video to talk about that. So good luck.